Alrighty.
Okay.
So pretty much today I think we're just going to go over the AOE kind of expectations for scoring. The committee should have received an email sometime last week, if you guys can see my screen okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Destiny, I'll let you kind of roll through it.
Yeah. So today we really are just focusing on the scoring form and what we're looking for when we're scoring the AOEs. And AOE, I'm sorry, is the Award of Excellence. The Award of Excellence is granted to those who have applied through their applications. We're looking to see their service learning and how they're impacting their community. There's about, I think, 17 and 19 questions on there that they give us. It's really in depth to allow us to score the best that we can in a way that really represents the amount of work and time and effort that they put in to service learning. Within the email, we do have the scoring rubric, and then you also have the applications that there are. So yeah, Anthony, if we can open up that form, that'd be fantastic. Thank you. So there are 6 applications this year that we're going to be looking at. And then we can look at the rubric. And then Chris, if you have any questions, specific questions, feel free to jump in. I also don't know if you had a chance to actually look at it.
I did. I looked at the rubric as well as the files that were sent over. So, and I have it all pulled up on my computer right now. So.
Okay, perfect. Then honestly, I can't see who's all here, but I think it's still just you, Krista. So instead of me just walking through the rubric, can I just ask you if you had any questions about it?
I don't know. I don't know that I have any questions, but I think for the sake of the rubric, I would actually appreciate just a quick walkthrough.
Yeah, absolutely. I just didn't want to walk it through and you were going to be like, if we could just move forward, that'd be great.
No, I appreciate that.
So we're looking at 4 category areas. So the attributes of service excellence, the supporting data and the metrics, the narrative clarity and the quality, and the innovation or unique contributions. Those 4 areas are pitched because, I mean, someone could, for lack of better terms, words, throw something in AI and get it to write for them. But really, what is the data? What is the metrics? You can attend an event or host an event and only 2 people show up, right? So we want to ensure the data is there, the metrics are there, the quality of your application and the work that you're doing is able to be received. And then we would love to just hear about innovations that they have. And maybe we want to share that out with other people. So that's what we're looking for in this work. So we'll start with number 1, the attributes of service excellence. We're looking at the program demonstrates excellence in service across key attributes such as impact, sustainability, innovation, collaboration, and engagement. So you'll see in some of these applications, there are 5 organizations within a school doing a service learning project. That's a collaboration we're looking at. How are you engaging with your community? Are you asking the community to come to a sporting event? Are you going out to a local home for youth or anything like that? So that's what we're looking for in engagement. The impact that it's making, again, you're doing the service learning. We love that. But what impact is it making on your community? And is it sustainability about it? And so those are the areas that we're looking for. As anything with judging, we all have our own form of judging. So I'll be honest, I'm a hard judger. Very rarely is anybody going to get a 5 for me because I feel like if I give everyone a 5, it's going to be hard for me to differentiate between those who are 3s.
Mm-hmm.
So I honestly start normally at a lower scale, about a 2, a 3. And then I will grade all the ones that I'm assigned to, and then I'll go back and compare them to each other holistically. Because I'm sure you know, like if you grade something you grade the first person, it's fantastic. And they're like, oh, actually number 3's was better. So I start low, go through all of them, and then go back and look at them all again before I submit my final information on how I rank them. 2 is supporting data and metrics. I think that's kind of self-explanatory, but we're going to look at the applications. Is it measurable? Is it data? Is there community feedback to show program effectiveness and outcomes? Again, building off of that impact. You'll notice that all of our categories build off of each other. So some of the questions actually sometimes may seem redundant, but we're looking for a little bit extra. If you missed the mark on impact in number one, you have a second chance in number two to really dive in deeper into that impact. If you are really good at showing your impacts, but maybe not as good as clarifying and showing the quality or telling a story, because your school is not equipped with someone who can run TikTok or all the social medias, we support that through the metrics. We're looking more at the metrics than how many times you're posting about it, or however you're the best way you're able to write this and sell the story. But it is very important that we still give 15% for that. And then again, 10% innovation. We love something new and creative and uniquely responsive to community needs, but also you don't always have to fix something if it's not broken. If it's
Right.
been working and it's actually having an impact, we understand why a program may not be innovative for a community, or they may not have the funding for it to be innovative, and we don't want to
Sure.
dock people for that. So we're trying to consider those things. So when we made this rubric, we were considering any social barriers and economic barriers that someone may be facing, and these four seem like something that could allow people to be seen holistically no matter what barriers they were facing.
Awesome. Yeah, that was helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anthony, Jim, if you want to throw something in there about the rubric that I may have missed. I don't know if Candace is on here, but if Candace.
Yeah, well, not specifically about the rubric, but just to note that Patricia joined us. And then I also got a note from Terry saying that her appointment that she's in is running along, and she'll check to see if the meeting's still going when she's done with her appointment. So we do have one person join. I don't think I have access to start a chat, so I was going to throw that in the chat. But rubric, just generally, I think Destiny, what you laid out is a good approach to kind of do a first pass and then do a second pass to kind of adjust your scores a little bit. That is a good option. The key thing for all of them is, are they actually providing actual evidence that they're doing what the rubric is asking, and not just reiterating the question. You know what I mean? It's like you just a lot of times when you have people taking a test, they'll just restate the test question.
I am people.
Yeah, me too.
But yes.
But are they just restating the question, or are they actually providing some sort of evidence or documentation that will show that they're actually doing is also important to think about as you're scoring.
Thanks, Jim, for that insight. That's really good to call out. And y'all notice that specifically on number two. Again, they'll try to. I think Jim said it. He said it nicely. It's kind of like people copy and paste because they don't understand the difference sometimes. And so, thanks, Jim, for calling that out. Hey, Patricia. We were just walking through the rubric. I'm uncertain when you joined because I had zoomed my entire screen in instead of just Anthony's screen, so that was on me. But if you have any specific questions about the rubric, if you've had the chance to review it, I would love for you to ask those so we could answer those for you, because I know that you are also new to the committee, so I want to make sure you're supported when you're reviewing these AOEs.
Okay. I'm not used to using WebEx. So I'm like, when you click unmute or like the thing, it gives you like a little noise thing, and I'm like, what?
Yes.
Anyway, sorry.
Okay.
The only thing I would say for myself when I go through the descriptions, is I like seeing examples, to where it's like you make it as clear as possible for people, to where it's you literally like I mean, obviously there may be some questions, but like at the end of the description, right, like now you don't see like, for example, and then to just kind of add that at the end of like, for example, this is what an answer could look like, so that way people can have that. I think I'd mentioned that before. I don't know if that's possible to do with this, but for people like myself who I mean, to me, data is kind of obvious in a way, but at the same time, it's just also more of like, this can help somebody start, okay, so that's what I need to actually do, or that's what I can provide, and just provides clarity, stuff like that.
Yeah, and is that for you as the reviewer, or are you saying as an example for those who are completing the application?
So I guess that's the question. So as we're looking at this rubric right now, is the rubric itself right now for the review?
Yeah, yeah. The rubric that we're looking at right now is for the reviewer, and it's what we received in the email from Anthony that we'll be using when we are reviewing. I've said reviewing a couple times. Reviewing
Mhm.
the award of excellence, the 6 of them that were submitted that we have to have the feedback by on January 1st. This is the rubric that we'll be using to grade those.
Okay, well then either way it actually goes, because I'm thinking about it for myself, and half the time, if something's not clear, or if, like, actually what it can do is it can help me then look for stuff within the application. So yes, I'll just go for both.
Yeah, okay. We can definitely try to figure out how to make that work. I, I don't know if there's a reasoning. It could be right. We haven't done it because it allows everyone to judge accordingly to how they judge. Instead of like saying this is what that looks like. So I'm trying to figure out what would be a great way, like the fine line across of telling someone
Well,
how they should exactly vote.
it's not that as much as it's like, when you're looking at an application and you're looking for specific things, if it's the idea is like, if somebody's never done this before and they want to make sure that they're reviewing it in the way that it's intended, that's what I'm more going for, is because
Hmm.
no matter what you could put like an example from an application that did well that nobody knows about, whatever it is, and
Hmm.
or you could just like make up an
Yeah.
example from an application and say, for example, this, like,
Yeah. Maybe we can. I
and
hear
do
what
that.
you're saying. I wonder if we can just add a winner from before
Yeah.
into the drive so you all can review as feedback of like this is what a number one winner was. That's not the terminology, a number one winner, but a number one winner was, so you can kind of see like, okay, this is what a quality application should look like.
Exactly.
Hmm. And that might be in that drive. I haven't gone through it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because regardless, there's no way you can remove bias no matter what you do. There's
Oh,
always going to be.
that's why we need a whole committee to review these, because I don't know, someone do something with dogs, and I think it'd be great because they were doing something with dogs. Um, and that does not justify reasoning for someone to win an award. Okay, so any other questions or feedback that was helpful, Patricia? Thank you.
Mhm.
Krista, you had anything additional?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, so that means that I'm confident that we can move forward and review the 6 applications and have that feedback submitted by January 1st to allow Candace and Anthony to go forth and conquer and do all the things that they need to do. Um, any questions, concerns?
None here.
Great. Thank you.
Did you want to walk through the form real quick?
We can walk through the form. If you'll navigate it.
Sure.
I will just overview it. Okay, so you get in, I say it's super easy. But you'll go through it, you're in, and you click whatever school you're reviewing for. So we'll go Central Magnet because it's number 1. We'll scroll down and we'll rate this. The rating scale is right there. Exceptional. Again, I would not complete this form until I have reviewed all applications. I would do it on paper first, make sure I like what I'm seeing, and then go into this form. I don't want to say self-explanatory because I've done this before, so to me it's self-explanatory. But as you go into the document, it will walk you through the steps. So rewards offering 5 highly innovative. You'll see a scale of 1 through 5. So if 1 is hard to follow, but you thought like, it's not hard to follow, but it could have been better. You might give them a 2, right? Um, but lacking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What you can fill out there is really there. Little to no data provided. Understandable but inconsistent. Clear, engaging, well written. We're gonna click through all that. We'll keep scrolling down. We'll finish it out. I don't know how many are on this page, Anthony. I'm sorry. And then any additional reviewer notes. So if there's something, I'm trying to think of any time I've had to add additional reviewer notes. Very rarely. Very rarely do I have to add additional notes. But if something is conflicting, like if I'm torn in between two organizations, I might say I'm tied between number 1 and number 2. And that might be something I might put there. Krista.
Thanks. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I didn't want to forget that I had a question.
Always. Go ahead.
So once this form is submitted, that's basically us saying we're done with this particular school or program. Okay, so I guess what probably I need to do is just kind of take my own notes as I'm reviewing and then go back through. And then when I feel confident that I've reached my decision on each one, then fill out this review sheet, because once it's submitted, I can't pull it back, right?
That's
like if I wanted to change an answer.
I don't know if you can change. I don't know if this is one of the forms that you can go back in and edit your responses. That's an Anthony
just
question.
Consider that this is my last step. So do what I need to do, kind of review, take my notes, make my initial assessments. And then when I use the form, that's basically me saying, these are my final assessments, submit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't believe we can go back and edit in the event
Okay.
that you submit another one. I would just add in the reviewer notes. That way I can see it.
Okay.
This
I was
is a
just
second
thinking
submission
through
or
like what
something like
Destiny
that.
was saying. Her process is, she goes through initially, makes her initial calls, and then she goes back through a second time and adjusts as needed. She wouldn't be able to do that if in the first round she submitted this form for each one.
Right.
Correct.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And so I would honestly, for me, when I come in, I honestly would probably do like a screen grab of this form and do it with pencil, like on my own, and be like, okay, this is where I would rank them. And then I'll go back and be like, okay, this is what it is. And then I do recall when I use reviewer notes, it normally happens if I don't think someone should. So there's one that ends where it's like, I don't recommend them. If I don't recommend someone, I'm definitely going to give a reasoning why I'm not recommending them, because
Sure.
I think feedback is very important. So if we want someone to continue to apply, especially if they took the time to do it, if they ever called and asked Candace, like, why didn't I go forward? Candace can look in the reviewer notes, like, you missed X, Y, and Z, and this is what the reviewer was seeing. So I think that that's good. And I do recall having to do that once before. And I don't know if they ever asked about feedback, but I justified my reasoning on why.
Okay. Thanks. That's helpful.
Good question. Okay. And then Desiree, I'll go over the SharePoint real quick if you guys had any questions, but all you guys should have access to the file. Let me know if you don't. In it, you would see the applicants with incomplete apps if you're curious about those. The 6 applications that we did receive and their files, you would simply just kind of open them up. This is pretty much, each should contain their application that we received from them. Looks something like this.
Just want to remind you, Anthony, that we are recording. So if this goes public, I don't know if they want all their answers.
Gotcha. That's a good suggestion. And if they submitted a video or a letter or any other supplementary things along with their application, that would be there. So additionally, you'll see the rubric in here. If you would like to see an example, recommend an example of a form that was submitted by a recommender last year, that's in here. and just kind of some other supplemental materials that you guys may need as you complete the review. But I'll go ahead and stop and open it up for questions if we have any.
I don't have anything.
I
Patricia,
don't
Chris?
have, I don't have any questions.
Is SharePoint the only way you guys have, I'm assuming, the file? All the stuff?
We haven't emailed it out.
Oh, well, the reason why I'm asking is because if we do have issues, like I was trying to get onto the Microsoft thing, and I may have to just email you later about that, but it was more of just I don't like it's not easily accessible for me
Same.
each time because it's Microsoft or like it's through Outlet, like because I use Google, I use Workspace, and so I don't necessarily use the other one as much. And so when I tried to use my email, I don't know if I forgot my password or what it was, and so I was wondering, are there other ways to access the files, or do we need to just? I need to just figure that out, I guess.
I can email them to you if you'd like.
Yes, that would be so much easier.
I would say that there will probably be a few multiple emails just because of size limits.
Oh, that's fine. It's more of just because I no longer use Microsoft Outlook. I don't have that's I just don't. Microsoft 365 is not the easiest thing to use all the time.
For sure. Okay. I'll work on that and get that over to you today, Patricia.
Got it. Thank you.
Are there any security or confidentiality issues to flag by taking them out of SharePoint and putting them in an email as an attachment?
Well, the email from a state email should be encrypted.
Okay,
Um,
just wanted to make sure that we're
yeah,
protecting that.
yeah, so it should be safe in the email itself. Now then, what happens once Patricia gets it uh, um, is kind of out of our control. We can't
Right.
control that, but the email itself should be
Okay.
safe.
I will also agree with Patricia. So when I first tried to get into the SharePoint when you first sent it, I couldn't get into it and I didn't try again. But I just tried again. And even through I have 2 Outlook emails. They both won't allow me access, and I think it's because I no longer have a state email. And so Krista and LaShan may not have issues, but I can't get into it because I no longer have a Microsoft through you all. And that might be a security thing through. And I don't know if you're able to open it up to people who are not within the state.
We
And I've
should
never
be able
tried it.
to. Yeah, we should be able to because we've given other non-state employees access to other folders. For example,
Okay.
the Friends of Volunteer Tennessee
Uh-huh.
board. We have Friends of Volunteer Tennessee documents stored on SharePoint that we've given board members
Okay.
of Friends access to. Now, it could be the thing those authorizations expire, and so we have to renew them. I don't know how long ago we gave folks access to it, to that shared folder. So it may be the case that that initial access has expired and we just need to renew the access. But you should be able to get to it even if you are not part of the state and even if you don't have an Outlook
Okay.
email address. Yeah.
It's currently set up like so I just tried it again with both of my emails. It's set up when I click it where it's branded state government and it tells you to like use your normal email, your state email. So I put in my other 2 emails and it's still telling me like it won't even give me like to request access. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Anthony, maybe after the call is done, if you can pull up that folder and review the access that the different folks have, it may be Destiny. I don't know. I don't have it pulled
Yeah,
up.
no, and that's
Maybe
on me.
it may be that we used your state email address and how that and instead of one of your personal email addresses, which could be
Okay.
the issue. But I think we should be able to get that fixed. I mean,
Okay.
it should allow you to access it even though you're not you're not using a state email address or an Outlook address.
Okay, well, that's on me because I should have said something the first time I tried to open it, and I honestly forgot about it until
No,
Patricia said something.
no,
So
it is a challenge. I mean, SharePoint is not easy. I mean, so it is not the most user-friendly system, but it's unfortunately it's the only authorized file sharing system that we have to use.
understand.
So we're kind of stuck with it.
It's
Understand.
more.
SharePoint is the bane of my existence. So I
It's-
I commiserate with all of you.
It's more of the issues if you don't have a Microsoft account that you can't actually go into it. Because at one point with my laptop, I had to get a new logic board, and that was a whole lovely thing. But it meant that everything that I had downloaded was no longer there. So all the applications, Microsoft, all that stuff. And so that has to then go back to it. And because you also have to pay for Microsoft if you're not whatever. And so it's kind of like that's the issue of, is there a way to make it to where you don't have to just have everything on Microsoft for anybody who doesn't have a Microsoft account?
Mm.
Well, it should allow, because we've got again, going back to the example of Friends, most of those are, well, I think all of them are not Outlook email. They're like Gmail and Yahoo, etc. So it should not be a problem for you to access a SharePoint folder from a non-Outlook email address. Again, it may be something that we need to do on our end to either renew the access or maybe to send it out again, so that folks have a fresh link to get to it.
I will
But-
note that even though I have a state email address, when I click on the folders to open them, it opens in my my internet browser. So I don't know that having SharePoint or Microsoft on a computer
Yeah.
is essential for being able to access SharePoint because it does go through the internet. So it's
Yeah, right.
tennessee.sharepoint.com. So
Right, yeah,
just
that's
throwing that out there.
Yeah, no, that's the easiest way, is that it just opens up on your whatever browser you use. Now, it could be that there are some browser settings that might be preventing access to it. I think that's a little less likely, but it is possible. But yeah, that's how actually we also internally access the SharePoint, is through a browser. So it should be, again, it shouldn't matter what email platform you're using. Once we give you access to it, it should authorize it, and you should, like Krista mentioned, you should be able to access it through a browser, which is independent of whatever email platform you might be using. Anyway, it's obvious we need to look internally to try and figure out and see if it's something on our end that we need to do, and we'll do that after the call and see if we can get it straightened out.
Thank y'all for that.
Yeah, from what I see, everyone should have access, and if you are trying it and it's not working, maybe try it at least 2 times. There was a scenario where STS mentioned if you had a previous account with Outlook and you're using that email, that there's something on the back end that they can do. So Destiny, that may be for you, but
Okay.
I'd imagine that's only happened one time so far with everyone from our programs or anything like that. So, but I would definitely say just try it a few times, and if you can't get it, let me know. Unfortunately, emailing them is it's going to be a lot of files. I've already tried that, so I'll work out a solution here. But if you are still having challenges, just let me know. Let's go through people here and then people that will watch your recording as well.
Okay. I'll figure it out later this evening. I also want to say that's the nicest way of you telling us that we are the problem. And we appreciate you telling us that so softly and gently, that we are the problem and everything else is good. I'll keep
Okay.
working on it. I'll let you know by the end of the day.
Yeah, we definitely want to make sure you guys have the access you guys need. And
Yeah, thank you. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. I think that was really the purpose of today's meeting, was to check in to see if anyone had any questions about the AOE rubric, the process that we were doing, and so forth. And Candace has been keeping us updated about anything she may need of us. So I feel comfortable with that. But if there's anything else, Anthony, that you and Candace need of us in the process to better support you all as we're prepping for conference, please let us know.
Thank you.
Krista, Patricia, anything else for the betterment?
No, that's here. I'm just keeping myself on mute because we got a bunch of stuff going on in the background.
You're fine.
No worries. I'm wondering, is there a reason why you guys chose WebEx to do all this?
Yeah. Oh, so you missed this, Jim. Do you want to tell her the new sorry.
Yeah, well, we were informed by the state, essentially the IT department, that for public meetings, we needed to start using WebEx. So we're going to use WebEx from here on out.
So basically, kind of like Krista was saying, WebEx is the main, like that whole thing of my existence. Like if I could, it would be my preference because it's the easiest to Zoom. So then it would be like Zoom #1, and then you have Teams, and then you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a state mandate that we have to
Yeah.
use WebEx, so we can't really, we don't have another option moving
Yeah,
forward.
Oh, I
exactly.
get it. I used to work for the state. I'm just simply saying that out of all of the ones, WebEx or the state has to choose the hardest one to use, of course, because it's the state.
Yeah, and I don't know any of the details of why WebEx over any of the other platforms, or why instead of Teams, which we have been using. But one of the things that I know for sure is that WebEx does give you some additional abilities for attendees to limit their ability to do disruptive things on public meetings, which is, I think, kind of the reason that they switched, is because they had some sort of public meeting where someone got on and started doing bad things in a Teams meeting. And so they're, I don't know, that may or may not be all that's behind it, but yeah, it's unfortunately, it's one of the things where they said you have to start using WebEx. And so we're like, okay, we'll start using WebEx.
No, that's fine. It's just what I've noticed. It's one of the more difficult platforms to use, or at least log on to. And so it kind of, that's why I'm saying it, because it's a whole,
Yeah.
it's just more complicated than the other two. Although that's what I was saying. Zoom is kind of the easiest one, but no, that makes sense. Cause I remember when they had all like the, what was it? The Zoom bomb thing, like people just random, like just the stuff that would happen in the meeting. So I like yes, I remember all that.
Yeah, and because they are public meetings, we have to post the links to the meetings online publicly, so they're available. I mean, fortunately, none of the Volunteer Tennessee meetings have anybody come on and do nefarious things, but it has happened with other state agencies, and so that certainly is a concern, General. And just because it hasn't happened with us yet doesn't mean that it couldn't. So. Anyway, yeah, it may not be the most user friendly, but unfortunately, it's kind of what we're stuck with for right now.
Love the attitude. Got it. I'm just kidding. No, I get it. I fully understand. That's what I was asking.
Okay. Well, I think we're done for the meeting with the meeting for the day. I don't want to keep us just to keep us. I mean, I like y'all and everything, but I know we have full days, so y'all can y'all can go ahead and do what you need to do. But if we're all good, have a great Thursday.
Thank you so much, everybody.
All right, see y'all.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, everybody.